And we welcome you to the Regional Training Center here in Virginia Beach. It is the site of a couple of field hockey matchups going on today on this pleasant Tuesday, the 19th of September, the year 2023. Matt Hatfield here, pleased to be with you as it's the five-time defending state champion Frank W. Cox Falcons, who come in at 2-0 overall, taking on the 2-0 Bayside Marlins. A pleasant story are they so far in the early going of this season under Coach Morgan Lee, taking on a Cox team that's going to wear the gold jerseys today with the white shorts. So it's going to be very tricky for us to give you the exact numbers, but we'll tell you who we've got on the roster and highlight as many of the key contributors as we can. Bayside in the black unis with the gold numerals, and we'll do our best to shout those young ladies out that perform in this matchup. It is a great day for field hockey here as we're getting a little bit cooler temperatures, although today it's pretty sunny and warm, and our game is brought to you by Pain and Gain Sports. Pain and Gain. Thank them for their support of local sports across the area. Go check them out online at painandgainsports.com. The Rhino represents us, Argentina empathic. Fun, comprehensive, sincere, colorful, risky, innovative companion possible. This is Vlac as they're teaming up with VAC, and the motto is embrace the pain, enjoy the game. Vibrant colors identify us. The Rhino represents us. And we're going to watch here early on here. Cox has possession. Looks like that's number 3, Megan Spear, who is Dartmouth bound, 24 goals, 23 assists a season ago. We'll give you the numbers that we have in order for Cox and then Bayside, as it's Cox marching from right to left here as this game is underway, and we're trying to work out some of the kinks with the scorebook. So right now you're not seeing any change in the time, but we'll effort that as we move it along here in this first period. And it is 79 degrees out here. Heat index right above 80 by a couple of degrees. They're on the hop. Cox is able to get to it in the attacking third of Bayside, but the Marlins hanging tough here early on, as that was a good job by number 6 for them, Natalie Fortin, a junior. But let's go in numerical order for Coach Taylor Roundtree's program. It is one of the most decorated field hockey programs in the entire country, year in and year out. We know about the legendary Nancy Fulks, who really orchestrated this, and back when Taylor Roundtree was playing at Cox High School, and 24 state titles for them overall. It's a VHSL record. Number 1 is Joey Savino, as here's Cox on the move in the attacking teeth of the Bayside area near the net. Looks like that was number 8 getting close to it for them. Unfortunately, I don't see an 8 on my roster sheet. It would just happen to be that way. As we go through the numbers for you. Check that, we do have an 8. So my apologies. We'll shout her out in just a moment. That is Lena for Cox. Lena Harkin. So I just happened to skip over her as I was transferring those numbers over. Here come the Falcons near the end line. As we're looking at probably just a little more than 12 minutes to go in this first period. We'll try to keep the time for you, not on the field, but on my phone, as that one hit off a foot, according to the official signal. So number 4, Emily Tromley, is going to bring it in from the side here. Back to the numbers. Joey Savino's 1 for Cox. Number 2 is Sophia Birch, who last season had 15 goals, 11 assists on her way to first-team All-State honors. Joined on the first-team All-State in Class 5 by Megan Spear. Number 3, as we mentioned, Dartmouth bound. 4 is Emily Tromley. 5 is Irma Bailey, who had 5 goals in their 10-0 shutout last week of Green Run. 6 is Ava Anuval. Number 7 is Rose Holland for the Cox Falcons. Number 8 is Lena Harkin. And here comes our first penalty corner of the contest. Number 11, Mac Deere. Number 14, Adelie Booth. 17 is Bella Terry. And Isabel Pardo, the keeper, who has a junior, coming off a season where she had 13 shutouts, 7 goals allowed. Quite a feat. And we do have the timer now working on the field, which is great to see. 11.5 minutes to go in this opening stanza. So we mentioned the roster names for the Cox Falcons. We'll give you some names here momentarily for the Bayside Marlins in numerical order. Sent into the middle, a little fake left go right maneuver, but Megan Spear, in doing so, lost control, is able to regain it here as she works the end line area, dishes it over to a teammate. Battle for it, and Bayside doing a really good job here. I think they had Irma Bailey who was trying to slice to the middle to cut free, and the Marlins keeping them off the board. So let's go through what Coach Morgan Lee has. Sophomore number 1 is Chloe Crystal Emanuel. 2 is Karina Iriarte, a senior. 3, Taylor Whitted, a senior. 5, Lana Schote, a junior. 6, Natalie Fortin, a junior. 7, Taylor Beecham, a sophomore. 8, Sophia Hughes, a sophomore. We'll stop there with Hughes for a second because Cox has an attacking situation, but Joey Savino is thwarted about, a good 6-7 feet from the net. After Sophia Hughes, who is 8, number 9 is Lillian Yoder, who, like Hughes, is a sophomore. Samantha Davis, a senior, wearing number 10. Caroline Fretwell, a sophomore, wearing number 11. Finley Rickards, a senior, wearing 12. Another senior is Anya Clausen, wearing 13. As Bayside's able to nudge that one away. 14 is Madeline Spears, a sophomore for the Marlins. 15, Isabella De Jesus, a junior. Ayla Semendinger, a freshman, wearing 16. Megan Virgili is a freshman wearing 17, and Paige Schultz, a freshman wearing 18. So those are the names for the Bayside Marlins as Cox looks to press forward. Yeah, they're coming in from the center now to the wing area, looking to dump one off is Irma Bailey, but it's going to shoot back out. And here they are looking to put pressure on the Marlins, but able to get to it is Finley Rickards. As Bayside's keeping Cox at bay here in the early going. Although the Falcons are controlling possession a great deal. Working on some of the passing stick work here. That's Mac Dare trying to connect with her teammate Sophia Birch. Marlins with Finley Rickards now getting into Cox territory. A trio of Falcons ready for it, though, as Mac Dare shows awareness. And here's Cox able to pull it away with Rose Holland. Reagan Cho, we did skip over her, inadvertently number 9 for Cox as well. And that one's going to hit the back end of the fence and netting. I think that was Bailey who got her swipe there. Bayside a 6-1 win on September 6th over Salem and a 2-0 shutout of Tallwood on September 12th. Adelie Booth working along the end line. So a nice start for the Marlins. 2-0 to the season. And it's ironic, the same 2 opponents they opened beach play with in football victories, it's the next 2 opponents that their football team played. Now they unfortunately took losses on the gridiron to Cox and Lansdowne. So Bayside hoping to get a different result than 2-2 after a 2-0 start. Nice job there. As I think that was, I couldn't tell who, that hopped off the hand of one of the players from Bayside. In fact, the goalkeeper is actually who that hopped off of for Bayside. Cox now. Firing one towards the back of the net was Megan Spear, as that one hit past the cage and to the fence area. Substitution now as we watch Adelie Booth check out, and racing on is number 6 for Cox. That is Ava Amuel. Six and a half minutes to go in this first period. Cox trying to get the first goal on the board here, and they're getting very close to it. Near the net, and that one's going to be nudged out with just over 6.5 minutes to go. as we chat to you from the Sportsplex and the Regional Training Center in this matchup between Bayside and Cox, brought to you by Pain and Gain Sports. Matt Hatfield here with you as Cox and Bayside are scoreless here with just over 6 minutes to go in the second penalty corner coming up for the Falcons, who are looking to get on the board here and get off to a great start to even this one up. As it'll be put in here, looking for Bailey as well as Mac Dare. Dare's going to shoot it towards the net, and that one's going to hop off the hand of the goalkeeper, and it's going to be on the board. So Cox draws first blood with Mac Dare with 6:01 to go in our first period as she gets the goal off the penalty corner. And the Falcons, who come in with 16 goals in 2 games, draw first here to take the 1-0 lead on the Marlins in this matchup. Nice job on that penalty corner there for Cox as they are able to score it. And now Bayside trying to swing momentum up here quickly. That one's going to be taken away by Rose Holland for Cox. Falcons have it with Irma Bailey. And Irma Bailey's attempted feed to a teammate on the right wing is going to be taken away by the Bayside Marlins, as the Marlins now with Samantha Davis, I believe it is. Going to be passed up ahead. They're looking for number 15, Isabella De Jesus. And Cox just too quick to get in front of it and try to get something working in transition. They're looking for Irma Bailey, who's got it at midfield. And her pass is going to be a little bit ahead of her intended teammate target in Ava Amuel with just under 6 minutes to go in this first frame. Our game today is brought to you by Pain and Gain Sports. We have so many other wonderful sponsors helping make this broadcast and stream possible for all of you, including Gatorade. Quench your thirst with Gatorade. Stay hydrated with them, especially when it's warm out there. All the youngsters, keep the elderly and the pets hydrated and safe from this heat when it gets above 80 and 90 degrees like it has for much of the summer now as we tick towards closer to fall time. Here come the Marlins on the move with Natalie Fortin, but Cox able to quickly strike back. Mac Dare, and now here's Irma Bailey. Could be thinking about an assist. Now Joey Savino's going to slice one in from the right side, and Savino with 4:43 to go in the first period. She gets a goal to make it Cox 2-0. So 2 goals in a span of 1 minute and 18 seconds. First from Mac Dare, and then it's Joey Savino for the Cox Falcons.
What number scored?
Part of that state championship team a season ago, she was. Had a couple of goals, as did Megan Spare when they beat Kellum a year ago 5-0. So she's had some multi-goal games in her career against quality Beach District competition. This could be one of those days for her, quite possibly. This program doesn't rebuild, it just reloads. You think of some of the wonderful talents they've had, like Zella Bailey, who went on to Columbus and Ohio State, and Elise Unger. So many talents in recent years as they keep to the tradition and rocking and rolling over there at Cox High School. Another one that is fired in from the wing area. But I think the officials signaled that is not going to count as a goal, so it's not. It's going to stay 2-0 in favor of the Falcons. We'll work on getting that score bug with the goals corrected here momentarily for you all out there. 3:25 to go in the first period and counting, as Cox looks to add to its lead. Sophia Birch now with possession as she gets into the shooter's circle. and tries to fire one in as a missile, but it's going to deflect off of, looked like it was a Marlins player. Yeah, she got a really strong whack at that one. 2 penalty corners for Cox. They score the goal with McDare off the corner. Bayside's yet to get an opportunity of that kind here in the first frame. Another one of our sponsors here, since they're competing on the turf, is AstroTurf. We'll tell you about AstroTurf in a second as Cox tries to add to its lead, but here from the end line, it's going to be almost popped in. I think that was Megan Spear who got that look at it, a high percentage look off the deflection. Since 1965, the AstroTurf brand has been driven by forward-thinking ingenuity, and today AstroTurf continues to improve its system design to deliver playing surfaces with the most realistic sport-specific performance, longest-lasting durability, and sound player protection. AstroTurf. As we're about to hit under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter, Marlins restarting things with Samantha Davis, but the Falcons not having that, as nearly Joey Savino able to connect with Lena Harkin for a scoring opportunity, as it was just out of the reach of Harkin by a hair. Bayside able to come up with the stop there, much needed, but they're able to get it right back are the Falcons. It was Natalie Fortin, who has been very active so far in this matchup. Most of Bayside's players are underclassmen. In fact, they have just, by my count, 5 seniors with Rickards, Clausen, Davis, Whitehead, and Ariarte. But they have 3 freshmen with Semendinger, Virgili, and Schultz. 6 sophomores. And in terms of juniors, 3 with Schote, Fortin, and Isabella De Jesus. So 1 quarter in the books. We're going to step aside and hear from one of our sponsors here at the Regional Training Center, helping make this broadcast possible for all of you out there. And we know it's Shine Time, Power Wash and Paint Professionals, where you can revitalize your property today.
Revitalize your property today. Shine Time is your turnkey solution for all power washing and painting projects. With years of experience in both residential and large-scale commercial settings, their focus is to bring new life to your home, building, or outdoor space and ensure 100% customer satisfaction every time. Shine Time Power Wash.
Okay, who here has reached peak fall?
Peak what?
Peak fall!
I am wearing plaid.
And I'm wearing a cardigan.
I guess I am eating snickerdoodle cookie dough.
And I am eating a pumpkin pie blizzard.
The new DQ Fall Blizzard menu has reached peak fall. Pumpkin pie, snickerdoodle cookie dough, and more. They are back!
I just love fall.
Apparently we all do.
Oh, they did it! Peak fall achieved! DQ, happy tastes good.
Happy tastes good. Grill and chill with the folks at Dairy Queen, where every day is sweet when they're serving you Blizzard treats like M&M's, cookie dough, Reese's, and Oreo fudge brownie. Thanks for being fans all these years, and here's to many more. Dairy Queen, Lansdowne. It's fan food, not fast food. 1 period in the books, and Cox leads Bayside by a count of 2-0 here off goals from McDare and Joey Savino. McDare's goal came at the 6:01 mark off the penalty corner, while Joey Savino scored her goal at the 4:43 marking of our second period. Glad you are with us with HSP, Hometown Sports Productions. Don't forget you can like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel with the Virginia Beach Sportsplex, and it allows you to check out our weekly podcasts. We have a weekly field hockey podcast that we're aiming to start getting up on Mondays. It'll probably be up on Wednesday again this week. Last week's episode, which you can find on our YouTube channel, featured Nicole Morgan of the Kellum Knights and Milena Magnano, the Liberty commit from Argentina for Kellum. In our first edition of Hatfield's Top 10, we'll have an updated Top 10 for you. We're hoping to catch up with Coach Taylor Roundtree of Cox for the podcast soon, as well as Mary Werkheiser of Norfolk Academy. She's got a standout player in Joji Purdy, who's been tearing it up as of late. And we'll be having the debut of our Player of the Week with one of our great new sponsors, part of Field Hockey Action. We also have a weekly football podcast for all you pigskin fans that go up on Thursday. Our guest this week will be Kings Fork football coach Anthony Joffron. You can watch last week's episode with TAB coach John Byron, and the last two coaches that have come on the podcast were winners. Atlantic Shores' Wayne Lance the week before, and John Byron this past week. So Coach Joffron hoping to get that done as they take on Nansemond River and Alonzo Ricks' Warriors. Both teams undefeated. And look at that as we begin the second period. Cox gets a goal. It's the second one of the game from number one, Joey Savino, with 14:42 to go in our second quarter. So Savino now a goal away from a hat trick, and Cox with a 3-0 lead as it took just 18 seconds to add to that here in this second quarter against the Bayside Marlins. Nice job there to quickly catch Bayside napping a little bit, where Savino saw daylight and quickly took advantage. Now Bayside trying to slow the momentum as Coach Roundtree and company are watching very relaxed at this point, knowing that a 3-goal lead for them is pretty much like a 3-touchdown lead in football, to go back to that for just a quick second. And we also talk about football and so much more, all kinds of sports, on our weekly Saturday podcast, 757 Saturday Sports Talk, with yours truly, Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young here at the Plex. Many of those at the Plex every week. And we'll actually have a new banner hanging up, I think in our home offices and walls, and probably here at the Plex as well, that have been done from our snazzy art team, working on all kinds of neat things for us. Cox now back with possession, but Bayside able to quickly jump in front of it with Finley Rickards. Now the Marlins, Isabella DeJesus. Cox has got it on the attack. Here they come. Finding up ahead, number 8 for them, that is Lena Harkin. And almost got tangled up, did Megan Spear, with one of the Marlins. Think that was Natalie Fortin, who's been arguably their most active player thus far. Isabella DeJesus, wearing the pink headband right next to her, has been 1B to her 1A, if you will, or 1A to Fortin's 1B. And we'll work on getting that score bug corrected. I know it's showing 1-0 on your screen, but it is 3-0 is the count, as Dare has a goal and Savino has 2. I think the Heat is playing some tricks on our electronic board that is synced to our score bug. So we'll tend to that here when we get a chance. And another one is put on the board, and that's going to be an easy one from number 5, Irma Bailey, as Irma adds to the Cox lead. She had 5 goals a week ago against Green Run, and there's the first for her today. It might not be the last. If you've seen how the reigning 5-time state champions go to work and operate with precision and certainly great timing. I'm going to watch that again. It looked like it was unassisted for her, too. I thought she might have had that assisted by a teammate, but it does appear that that one was unassisted for Irma Bailey. Bayside now on the move, trying to get a goal with Finley Rickards. Cox pushes it out. Passed up ahead. It's going to be number 14 for the Falcons, Adelie Booth, in the corner area, just out of the reach of Irma Bailey, as this one will roll out of play with just under 12 minutes to go in our first half, which gives us a chance to tell you about Tropical Smoothie Cafe, where you can eat better and feel better. They're bursting with fresh flavors, offer grab-and-go catering, box lunches too. Tropical Smoothie Cafe on Princess Anne Road. It's right across the street from Tidewater Community College. Falcons with Lena Harkin. And Natalie Booth now has that one poked away. Marlins make a pass, and it's hard to get out of danger here as that one's going to get away from Bayside's number 12 in Finley Rickards. And here comes Cox again, dominating the time of possession. Megan Spear, I think she was looking for a cutting Sophia Birch. Remember, those two combined for 39 goals and 34 assists a season ago. That's quite a terrific tandem they have. And it's by far not just a two-player team. That one's going to take a ricochet and almost went in, but fortunately for Bayside, it took a bounce the other direction, not straight through. That one's going to go out of play. For these two teams coming up, what's on deck for the schedule? Well, Bayside's going to play host to Lansdowne in a couple of days. And then a week from today, it's First Colonial on the slate. Then they travel to Kempsville on the 28th of September. They open up October with Green Run on the road, Kellum at home, at Ocean Lakes, and Princess Anne at home. You can see a lot of the great field hockey teams compete here at the Regional Training Center each and every week. You know, the Ring of Honor's coming in October, was told today. Gloucester, who's unbeaten, off to a great start from the Peninsula District, is among the many teams that will be competing in that event coming up next month. Falcons with Megan Spear, as that one's going to hit out of play towards the fence area. Then in terms of the schedule for Cox coming up, as we will effort that here in a second. Unfortunately, their R schools has not been updated as of late, so I'm having to do some different maneuvering for that. Falcons do have Norfolk Academy on the schedule a week from tomorrow. It is slated for at Norfolk Academy, 4:30 p.m. That is a game to circle, as that's arguably the top public and private schools in the area set to square off in 8 days. But before that, they play Ocean Lakes in a couple of days on the road.
Sir?
Take on
Sir?
Salem next Tuesday.
My
And they
boss
close out
wanted me to
the
ask
month
you
of
if you
September
could
with
add
Tallwood on
the
the 28th.
goals
So
and
they
make
play
it the
3 games in
second
3
quarter.
days, which will be certainly taxing on the bodies. But if any team can get it done,
Yeah, I think it's for
it's
the
Cox.
string. Thank you.
Here's our first penalty corner of the second period. And that one's just sliced a little wide of the net, as that was Joey Savino on the right wing trying to get the hat trick. It was 1 goal away from that. She remains just 1 goal away from that with 8.5 minutes to go in our first half. Now we have the score bug properly showing it as 4-0 in favor of Cox. Here's Bailey. Got a great feed from Annalie Booth, and just unable to get that one to squeeze through. But off the rebound, Cox trying to put it in. Say rebound, makes me think of basketball and the big men they've got. They've got a very talented scholarship level big man on the hardwood this year with Ben Nacy. Got a scholarship level football lineman leading the way for them on the gridiron, and Gerard Johnson, who's committed to Virginia Tech. And this Cox field hockey team has so much talent. We mentioned Megan Spears, Dartmouth bound. And she is, I can safely say, not the only player that will compete in this sport at the next level. There will be a host of others, maybe not joining her at Dartmouth, but heading off to college to compete in this sport, as the Falcons send that one a little wide of the net, but it's going to be a penalty corner, as it was drawn by Cox with 7:22 to go in our second period. I know the board is showing third, but it is the second quarter here. So we'll work on that part of our score bug too when we get an opportunity. Here's the fourth one of the half. Second of the period for the Falcons. Looks like that's Emily Tromley, if I can see correctly. And with the sun not shining as much, it's actually helping us identify the numbers. So we're glad that Mr. Mr. Golden Sun has decided not to shine down on me. As I'll stop singing the Bernie song and tell you about another goal for the Cox Falcons. That's Irma Bailey putting one through. I'm saying, what's wrong with this guy? He's singing Bernie tunes. He must hang out with too many kids. Trust me, I have in my years past with childcare. Irma Bailey, second goal for her. It makes it 5-0 for Cox. Off the penalty corner, that's the second of their 5 goals scored off a penalty corner sequence, as the defending 5-time state champs have a 5-point lead. So they've outscored the Beach Foes so far 15-0 on the year. I think much like people wonder about on the peninsula for football with defenses like Phoebus and Warwick this year, who's going to be the first to score on them as far as a touchdown? Who's going to be the first team to score a goal on this Cox attack as far as a Beach District foe goes? I think they did give up one in a 6-1 win over Cape Henry, but I'm not 100% positive of that. I can tell you that Cox has possession again as they're threatening, and that one's going to deflect off, and it's going to be with 6 minutes and change to go in this first half. Another chance for Cox to apply some more pressure on Bayside as it's Megan Spear working into the shooter circle from the white wing. It's going to take a hop, and then it's deflected upward, and they're going to count that as a goal. My goodness, that's Savino with the hat trick now with 5:56 to go in the half. How did she do that? That was almost like me in the swimming pool when I've got the raft and the little noodle, and I'm playing basketball, and when I'm playing against those smaller little kids, and I dunk it down. I just smash it through, and Savino now has a hat trick. 6-0 Cox in the lead here. Now, I know last week it was a 6 or 7 goal Mercy victory late in the contest in the Kellum-Kempsville game, but as I'm not 100% positive of this, the way I understand it, much like it is with girls basketball, both parties, if they're going to agree to the Mercy, have to be in agreement as far as that's the end of the game. So if this was to climb to about double digits, we could see that scenario play out before regulation ends. And it's going to be another penalty corner here with 5 minutes and change to go in our second quarter, as Cox has really got Bayside on its heels, trying to figure out a way to stop them with their speed and their quick score and attack. So this one will be Sophia Birch from the entry spot. Another game going on right next to us is Tallwood and Lansdowne, by the way, here at the training center. As Cox gets it in, nice dump off with Megan Spear, and that one's going to ricochet and almost get put through. Don't think Sophia Birch was able to get that off the rebound try, but Cox is going to have possession here from about the 25. Bayside just wants to get to halftime and keep it where it's at. Don't let it grow anymore. But Cox is getting closer to making it grow as they've drawn yet another penalty corner, as Ava Amuel was super deep there right around the net. And here goes Sophia Birch to trot to the other side, on the far side by the fence for another penalty corner. And another penalty corner is drawn by the Cox Falcons again.
15.
I always want to thank our man, Dan the Man Trevino, out there taking photos and getting us great shots and video throughout the year. Carter Davis is working on the camera for us today on this broadcast, but Dan helping us out with what we should have as our graphic for our Player of the Week on our Field Hockey podcast coming up. And he does a super job with USA Field Hockey as well as the folks here at the training center getting some great shots. I know the young ladies and their families really appreciate all his hard work and effort. whether it be heat, rain, snow, or sleet. He's always seemingly grinding and putting in the time, and not just with field hockey, he does it with other sports too, whether it be volleyball, soccer, football, you name it. Superb work. That one's going to be booted away. Savino's got a hat trick. Bailey's got 2 goals, and one from MacDare. The first one scored by her, as that came off a penalty corner around the 6:01 mark of the first period. And, you know, it's got to be demoralizing for Bayside because they went almost 9 minutes without letting Cox get on the board, and then the onslaught came. And when it came in a hurry. Got some very vocal, chirpy fans here today watching the matchup with Tallwood and Lansdowne as they're enjoying the competitiveness. And it's a battle right there as Cox and Bayside battling for it. Looks like that one was going to be won for a second by Bayside, but Reagan Cho getting it for the Falcons, who continue to dominate. Look at Megan Spear just swerving her way through and scoring. My goodness, Spear was going left, right, zigzagging, weaving through there like a car through traffic on the interstate on a Friday afternoon. Be careful when you're out there on those highways and byways. Megan Spear, you have to be cautious in how you defend her, otherwise she'll make you pay. And through the nose, Cox leading at 7-0. So the Dartmouth commit, who had 24 goals a season ago, getting one here. Might not be the last of her season, and we can certainly say we highly doubt it is of her career. Well on her way to getting All-State honors again. She and Birch were the first team selections for Coach Roundtree last year, as they plan to be hoisting the trophy again, and they know there's some challengers. Megan Spear up ahead. That's Sophia Birch. Now Joey Savino quickly racing by the defense. Diving attempt by the goalkeeper. And Cox trying to patiently work it through with Emma Well. Here's the feed. It's deflected. And a penalty corner awarded after Reagan Cho got to it. So with 51 ticks to go in the half, Cox is getting closer to doing more. Fifth penalty corner, 7th of the half. Cox gets it in from straight away. That one goes airborne, but Megan Spear not as accurate with this one, and she goes over to show some good sportsmanship, making sure the Bayside player is all right. Number 12, Finley Rickards. I'd like to see that from the young ladies. Showing the empathy, showing the compassion for your fellow mate. That's good to see. And 000's now hitting the clock, and it's going to be halftime here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach, where Cox will take a 7-0 lead, although the clock has stopped with 1 tick, so I'm not quite sure what we're waiting to see here. As we might not be exactly at halftime, even though our scorebook is telling us we are. And it looks like now we are. So we're going to step aside and hear from Vlac with Pain and Gain Sports, along with AstroTurf, CHKD, and so many other sponsors making this possible. It's Cox leading Bayside 7-0, and you're watching with us on our Virginia Beach Sportsplex YouTube channel, beachsportsplex.com. Come on back for the second half as we bring you some more action.
At CHKD, sports medicine is more than just treating injuries. It's a whole team approach to caring for young athletes. With experienced physicians, surgeons, trainers, and rehab specialists here when kids and teens need them most. Our experts help young athletes prevent injuries too, with advanced training and conditioning programs that keep them in the game safely. CHKD Sports Medicine, where kids are more than patients and we're more than a hospital.
We appreciate One Life Fitness, One Inspired Life. They're here to help. Start your new membership today at any one of the 8 convenient Hampton Roads locations. You can go online to onelifefitness.com and claim a free trial pass. One Life Fitness. The second half is getting ready to start between the Cox Falcons up 7-0 on the Bayside Marlins thanks to a trio of Joey Savino goals. She's got a hat trick, 2 goals from the likes of Irma Bailey and 1 each from Mac Dare and Megan Spear, as Cox looks to move to 3-0. But before we come back with the second half, let's hear from a couple more of the sponsors, and that includes John's Tax Service.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
Getting ready for the third quarter here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Our game brought to you today by Pain and Gain Sports. Go check them out online at painandgainsports.com, where they have the motto of embrace the pain, enjoy the gain. Vibrant colors identify us. The Rhino represents us. You see all the different items they have with folks at Vlac. You can use your MG10 discount coupon and get your 10% discount on your Vlac purchase. All the Vlac sticks out there, so all the different types of Sticks from Vlack to balling to Osaka and much more. Helmets, chest guards. Go check them out, paintinggainsports.com. Right now, the Cox Falcons have gained a lot of momentum, and it really started at the end of the first period, getting that second goal within a minute and 44 seconds of Mac Dare's first. Joey Savino getting that second one, and from there, Cox really seized control. They scored 5 goals in the second quarter, all in a span of 12 minutes and 56 seconds as they really grabbed this game by the throat. And for Cox, they will have some Beach District matchups coming up as they've got Norfolk Academy in 8 days to follow as well. So the third quarter underway. And we'll see if Bayside can get anything working to its liking as we watch the Marlins work it into Cox territory. And that one's going to be taken near side by Cox. Falcons up 7-0 here in this matchup at the training center.
You're in the same lane. There you go. Good. There you go. Good, Sophia. Better. Good, Soph. Good job, Sophia.
Cox up by a count of 7-0 here, and with the chance to really salt this away with another goal. And we apologize right now. We're having some camera difficulty, so we'll hopefully be able to pan to the other side of the field in just a second as we are back with you. Bayside now with it. Marlins have possession with Lillian Yoder. Cox gets it right back. Emily Tromley doing a good job to send it up ahead. And here's Joey Savino thinking about a 4th goal this afternoon. Cuts it in, and now this is where the sun is playing tricks on us, seeing who the numbers are. Going to be a lot harder to figure that out, and I think that goal is going to be scored if we stay with her. Might have been Savino again. So either 3 or 8. I think they did just kind of tap Megan Spear. Could not get a great look at that as our clock is down again on field 2, but we're going to attempt to say it's Megan Spear. We'll try to watch it again on replay to get you a better angle or a better clarification on who had that goal. So we'll watch and stay with the player that we believe scored it. And hopefully no action will take place in terms of scoring. So we can clarify. That was indeed Megan Spear. Lucky guess on my part. Second goal of the game for her. So 3 players with multiple goals as Cox ups its lead to 8-0. Going away from the grain, if you will, they're going to say it was tipped, so no goal for number 5, Irma Bailey, who looked a little incredulous at the moment, I think. And Bayside's going to have possession. I think Bailey thought that one was going to count. But I think we're saying an inadvertent tip. Couldn't quite tell what the signal was from the official. So Bayside trying to work it back into Cox territory. Falcons having none of that. Here they come with Sophia Birch. Dishes it over to Irma Bailey. Off the rebound. Cox trying to slice one through, and it is done by, guess who? Joey Savino, her 4th goal of the game. And that one comes at about, we'll say, 10:35 to go in the half, roughly. Or I should say in the 3rd period, excuse me. It is not the 8th quarter. Don't worry if you're looking at the score book. We're not playing 8 quarters of these. But the count should be 9-0 now. And the patrons are still getting really revved up for this matchup between Tallwood and Lansdowne, which at last check was scoreless at the break. They're fighting tooth and nail to get that victory. Tell you what, Tallwood's coming off a win that they had on Monday. Beat Deep Creek 4-0. Grace the Barge. Don't believe there's any relation to El DeBarge. Did have 2 goals, along with McKenna Townsley and Riley Curtis, each scoring 1. I've listened to El DeBarge a few times. Not too bad a tune. Time Will Reveal. That's one of the great El DeBarge tunes. Punch it up on your music playlist. Cox now getting by the defender. Making a good move and a long hit up ahead. On that pass, it's going to go out of play. Might have to ask Taylor Roundtree what she listens to get fired up for a game, what her go-to tune is. I don't think it's El DeBarge, just a hunch. Just a hunch. I don't know that the young ladies out there are big fans either of that. I'm sure they all have different, some hip-hop and some rap, some like little country. You never know. Falcons with Megan Spear. And that one's going to roll out of play. So Bayside here, knowing it's hard to stop the bleeding when you're playing Cox and they're in a groove like they are. Cox working left to right here in this 3rd quarter, and it hasn't slowed them down one bit. Maybe made them a little faster in some respects. That one's going to take a hop. Couldn't tell if it was off the goalie's shin pad or foot or the post. We have not seen a penalty corner yet until now. In this half, that is. So Cox, which had 7 of them in the first half. 8 of those 7, 5 in the 2nd quarter alone. Bayside yet to get one. This is the 8th of the contest for them now. As Bayside needs to get aligned here, or this will spell trouble. They could look to Sophia Birch. There's the dump off to Birch, who gives it right back. A little sweet give and go action. And it goes out of play. I like the idea and the selfishness there of Birch. Had 11 assists last year. Didn't think she had a clear look at it, so she decided to dish it off to one of her teammates. We're working without an official clock on the field for us in terms of the score bug, but I'm showing about 6.5 to 7 minutes of third quarter regulation time remaining here as that one gets booted out. Chased down by Lena Harkin for Cox. Trio of Bayside defenders surround her and along the sideline. Cox has it towards the inline area. Falcons look to make the pass with Reagan Cho. Here's Savino, already with 4 goals today and trying to add to that total, maybe get an assist. And that one just sliced a little bit too hard towards the left side with Megan Spear putting the powder behind it on that shot. Another one of our sponsors here making this possible is Zoop Eatery. At Zoop, you can build the perfect boxed lunch, a customizable and individually packaged meal for your convenience. Choose from any of the wide variety of soups, fresh salads, made-to-order sandwiches, all served with a hunk of bread and dessert. Something for the whole crew when you stop in at Zoop Eatery. Tell Carl and Debbie Morton that you got sent in by Matt Hatfield and the gang from the Sportsplex and Regional Training Center. Recommended you to stop in at Zoop. Never know what good food you might find in there, and chili and soups, all kinds of things. You never know who you might run into there. You might even see some celebrities like Mr. Jimmy. He might be in at Zoop. Lansdowne Centerway, give him a call, 757-821-7800. You can order online at zoop.com, but again, 757-821-7800. Bayside trying to dig out of trouble here and get into Cox territory, but Megan Spear, very quick reflexes from her. Birch along the baseline area, and that one's going to result in the second penalty corner of the third quarter for Cox, comfortably up 9-0 in this game, sensing a double-digit lead and victory, much like they had a week ago against Green Run. Coach Roundtree all smiles there along the sideline. Just another day at the office and the beach and the training center for her. Penalty corner is going to ricochet off for Megan Spear, and then it's going to be scored by the Falcons as they get it done with Irma Bailey off the penalty corner. As Irma adds to the Cox lead with her third goal, so a hat trick for her. As that one took a hop and she was able to control it. Initial shot by Spear, and then number 5, Irma Bailey, got it. So with about 3.5 minutes to go, I think it is, with this third quarter, unofficially. Bayside's trying to avoid the shutout and get a goal, but they've not had any penalty corners or shots on goal. As Cox has been extremely dominant in this matchup. No different than last year on a Tuesday in September when the Falcons shut out Bayside 7-0, except this is a larger deficit. Had come in off a 6-1 win over Salem on September the 6th. Also had a 2-0 win over Tallwood just last Tuesday. Tallwood in a tussle right now with Lansdowne. Izzy DeJesus was responsible for both goals, with Taylor Whitehead and Natalie Fortin helping out in that effort. Joey Savino really set the tone in this matchup, though. 4 of the first 9 goals, 3 of the first 6. And then Spear and Bailey have stepped right through. 3 goals for Bailey, 2 for Spear, and that first one scored by Mac Dare. Look at the control and excellent stick work from Sophia Birch before that one ends up bouncing out of play. Now, Birch is one of the best players out there, and it's amazing she hasn't scored a goal yet, but she's been just an inch or 2 away from 2 or 3 in this contest. And I'm sure she's pleased that her team is winning. So many playmakers you have to watch out for on this Cox team. Horn just sounded, but I think that was the end of, well, that's actually the end of both third quarters. I know it is for sure in the Tallwood Lansdowne case. And it is also in the case of the Bayside and Cox game that we're watching here. So we'll catch our breath while the athletes do the same and go to their respective benches and sidelines and hear from one of our sponsors at the Plex. And we'll begin with Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. So they're going to call that's the end of the game, as you see the 2 teams with the handshake line. Cox a winner in this matchup, 10-0 in 3 quarters of play. 4 goals from Joey Savino, 3 from Irma Bailey, 2 from the Dartmouth-bound Megan Spear, and 1 from Mac Dare. Falcons 3-0, Marlins dropped to 2-1. We want to thank all of our sponsors such as Zoop Eatery, John's Tax Service, CHKD Sports Medicine, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, One Life Fitness, Shine Time Power Wash, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Dairy Queen, Vault Athletics and Fitness, AstroTurf, Gatorade, and of course our title sponsor today with Vlac, Pain and Gain Sports. This is Matthew Hatfield saying thank you for watching, and to Chuck Thornton and Nick Senti and our entire team from Hometown Sports Productions, Carter Davis on camera. We'll talk to you next time from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Virginia Beach Sportsplex YouTube channel and beachsportsplex.com. Bookmark that on your tab. Have a pleasant, good Tuesday evening, everyone.